Now we start with chapter 16, which is about Deva and Asura, the Daivic and Asuric nature. It's quite an interesting study, actually. The qualities which are here listed for the Daivic and Asuric nature. Let us look into them. Shri Bhagavan Vacham Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yajnascha Svadhyaya Stapa Arjavam. So there is the whole list of, in 3 different verses, Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhah Tyagah Shantir Apaishutnam Daya Bhuteshu Bhuteshvalu Loluptvam Mardavam Harir Achapalam Tejah Kshama Dhriti Shaucham Adroho Natimanitam Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharatam. So Sri Bhagavano Vacha says all 3 shlokas in one go. Shubhendra translates them here. I will translate myself and then read what Shubhendra says. The blissful Lord said, Abhayam, fearlessness, sattva samshuddhi, total purity by purification by sattva guna, jnana yoga vyavastiti, and the state of jnana yoga. Constantly recognizing oneself, one's own realization in this life. Dhanam, giving. Damascha, controlling one's own senses and mind. Yajnascha, sacrifice, constant transformation of one's nature. Svadhyaya, reading for oneself the sacred texts. Tapah, the concentrated effort of consciousness. Arjavam, straightforwardness or sincerity, we can translate. Ahimsa, not hurting anyone. Satyam, truthfulness. Akrodha, not being the absence of wrath. That's how she went. Tyagah, constant sannyasa, tyaga, constantly leaving. I will see how he translates. Self-denial, that's how he translates. Shanti, peace. Apaishunam, absence of fault-finding. This is an interesting absence of gossip and backbiting. Yeah, that's kind of. Daya, compassion. Bhuteshu, in all, to all beings. Aloluptvam, absence of greed. Loluptvam is the quality of always wanting to get something. Mardavam, softness. Hrih, modesty. Achapalam, being free from restlessness. Tejah, energy. Kshama, forgiveness. Dhriti, literally steadfastness, but he translates patience, that which can hold, you know, against all the difficulties. Shaucham, cleanness. Adroha, absence of envy or pride. Natimanita, that is also the absence of pride. Adroha, absence of betrayal or he translates them both: absence of envy and pride, adroha and atimanita, natimanita. These are the wealth of the man, bhavanti sampadam daivim, born into the Deva nature. These are bhavanti sampadam daivim, the wealth divine, abhijatasya, of the one who is born into it, or Bharata. So if we go through them again, we can see that these are major qualities which we want to learn also from the mother in Sri Aurobindo. Yes, abhayam, fearlessness, there could be courage, yeah? Sattvasha samshuddhi is purity of sattvic state of the mind, jnana yoga vyavastiti, state of constant self-realization, or in the yoga of self-realization, seeking one's own self, true self. Dhanam, generosity, one of the qualities. Damascha, the control of the senses, self-control, he translates. Yajñach, sacrifice. Svadhyayach, a study of scriptures or learning for oneself, using the scriptures as the sacrifice. Tapach, ascesis. Arjavam, candor, and straightforwardness. We can translate also as sincerity, straightforwardness. Ahimsa, harmlessness. Satyam, truth. Akrodha, absence of wrath. Self-denial. Tyagach. Denial of one's own desires, yeah, so to say. To calm, shanti, apaishunam, absence of fault finding in others, which is actually a divine quality, not to look for the problems in others. Yes, there is enough problems with ourselves, yes, to find and to deal. And the one who really does this, he already sees that all the faults and the difficulties are already within him. So he cannot really rely on that in others, so kind of find a fault in them, because he sees this in himself. Daya, compassion to all beings, bhuteshu. Aloluptvam, absence of greed. Mardavam, softness or gentleness, as it translates. Rich. Rich is also shyness or modesty. Achapalam, not moving too much or not talking useless things also. Yes, small talks and all this useless, endless talks which people usually enjoy. He translates as absence of, freedom from restlessness. Then tejach, energy, kshama, forgiveness, dhritich, patience or steadiness, shaucham, cleanness, adrohach, and natimanita is absence of envy and pride. And these are the features of the divine nature. Yeah. You have anything to add? You can see yama niyama already. You can see all the qualities of 12 qualities of the mother. If you want to kind of to put them into this format, I can see them here, all of them. They're just given with other words. Yeah. No comments? Maybe I'm running too fast.
Vladimir, is he equating the Deva nature with the sattvic nature, or is it something more than that?
This is a good question. I think he is more speaking about Daivik and Asuric nature in the bigger kind of modality of things. Yeah? So there is something in us which is of Daivik nature and something of in us is of Asuric. And Arjuna is very worried, actually. In the next slokas, you will see to what nature he belongs. Yeah? And he says, don't worry, you belong to the Daivik nature, so you're fine, you're safe. Because this nature is very difficult to change in one incarnation. Yes? Very difficult, really. Because all these natures need fulfillment in us or in the evolution of consciousness in some way or another. We have to try them out, so to say, these features of both natures. And if you look into how Sri Aurobindo describes different manvantaras from the beginning of Kalpa, you will see exactly that he speaks about Paishachik, Pashu Paishacha, first manvantara. So the the lowest movements of consciousness were worked out. And then the Rakshasic Paishachik, then Asuric Paishachik, Asuric Rakshasic, then finally Daivik Rakshasic, Daivik Paishachik, Daivik Asuric. So this nature is kind of evolving and has to cover all possibilities. So to look with it to it with divine eyes, there is no judgment. There is just recognition of nature. So some people belong totally to the divine nature. And the divine nature, Sri Aurobindo says, is that the devas are looking always beyond the mind, towards something higher than the mind, yes, towards the supermind. That is their orientation. For the asuras, the orientation is buddhi and everything below buddhi. Yeah? They want to manage the world by the pure reason, as it were, by the mind. Rakshasas are operating within the manas, sense mind, and senses. Paishachas are very sensual. It's always about senses. So all these levels of consciousness had to be worked out before we arrive at some higher possibilities. We had this in our class on the Veda, partially we touched upon. There is a beautiful passage of Sri Aurobindo describing these levels, these manvantaras, giving their definitions. So over a long period of time, we were evolving in a particular format, working out a certain, pattern of nature, which had to be worked out and then overcome. That's why most probably the Asuras are elder brothers of the gods, yes, because they were there before the gods. We had to work out their nature first. So we already know what is to be Asuric, what is to be barbaric in nature. We know it very well. You can see it in the war. When the war comes and all the moral kind of standards are removed, you can see that all this lower nature from the past is rising to the surface. Yeah, all this barbaric killing and raping and torturing, all that which was in the past already kind of fulfilled, once more wants to be fulfilled. Yeah, and to grab our consciousness and eat our energy. Somebody switched on something.
Can I please inquire something? Yes, the question for me is, how does one delve deep enough in one's own consciousness to understand the truth behind the movements of the Rakshasas and the, I'm just going to call them Asuras, demons, whatever. How does one delve deep enough in one's consciousness to find the truth behind the actions of these Ashuras?
Well, we have to have a bigger picture even than that. Yeah. We have to see the evolutionary metaphysical view, yeah, what Sri Aurobindo has and what he gives us, that our fall, was necessary. We had to start from the bottom up, and slowly we started to evolve out of the material inconscience. And how could we evolve out of that inconscience, which is suffocating and narrowing down all the operations of consciousness, if not by those, asuric elements, which are self-asserting, survival, and so on. Yeah. So this is how it was done. Certain things were achieved, certain independence in the body, certain powers in the body, slowly evolved. Yeah? And now we are using them. And we want more from consciousness, but we are using still the inherited body from the past. So this is our dilemma, our problem. One foot is in the past, other is in the future. So we are in this position, transitional being. So it has its
Yes.
value when you come there. On that level of consciousness, if there is no other, it will have its value. But on this level where we are, it loses its value. We cannot go there back. We cannot go backward, because we are always moving forward. I do not know whether it answers. I think I answer it metaphysically rather than psychologically.
So what you're saying is we have all evolved out of this state. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I mean, or we are evolving out of this state.
Yes, we are still evolving. Yes.
Yes, we are evolving out of this state. And so in order to find the truth behind this state, well, see, that's my dilemma there. I am trying to understand all of the Ashuric activities that are going on the planet right now, and to get to the truth behind those. I mean, I can go from one to another and try to see the good that's coming out of each one, even though it's a very evil force doing this, and it takes a lot of concentration. I'm finding a whole lot of concentration and a lot of searching. It's
Very
a lot
nice.
of work.
Absolutely. It's much easier to fall back into that state of the previous development. It's much easier to become a beast than to really, develop this abhayam, the fearlessness, to develop the purity, sattvic, jnana yoga status, the giving, real giving, not false giving, not asuric giving, for the sake of getting something. Self-control, these are difficult matters, not easy to achieve, as you see, for the asuric, especially for that formation, what we already achieved. So these are the aims of our evolutionary process. We want them. We recognize them as true, don't we? We feel so good when we read about them. We feel, oh, this is what it is. So nice. I want it. I want it more. I had it once in a while. I have it, but I want it constantly. Can I have it constantly without falling back into this me and myself? And
well, I can see the little things that, well, not some of them are pretty big, but the things that go on in my life that happen to me, and just wondering, why this happened. And then I'll just give an example. The other day I unfortunately made a very sharp turn, sharper than I should have, and I hit the curb and I absolutely blew my tire out, and it scared the living daylights out of me. But anyway, as it turns out, I take it in to get a new tire, and this person, I had bought this car it was a used car, Last year it was a 2019, a used car. It had 25,000 miles on it. And the person that was putting the people that were putting the tires in, you have dry rot on these tires. And he says, you have to get new tires. And he said, this is probably a good thing that this happened to you because, if something worse could have happened later. So I just kind of, go on through my life kind of like that because I know that when something happens to me that is, I'm not, particularly in the mood for, I don't, would ever be the word, prepared for. I it seems to evolve and work itself out for the good.
Yeah.
But
These accidents are needed for you actually to try out how far you you establish those qualities within. Yeah, these are all inequalities. There is none of them outer quality. Notice. So it's only your reaction, how you would react to what is coming. Would you start kind of manipulating with the truth because it is easier for you to get what you want? For example, the tire is broken and he will ask, did you really break it now? And you say, no, it was broken from before because it would be easier to get it replaced. So here we have it. Yeah. You will have always a dilemma, to be angry or not, to be angry with what happened, to be harmful to somebody or not, to stay in peace, to start blaming someone or not.
yes,
and so on and so forth.
Yes. So maybe that's what I guess I just kind of would like to say maybe that's what we need to do is just to watch these things evolve or whatever they are. I mean, is this what some people need? The assured qualities to evolve out of them, and that's what's happening in a lot of cases with the dilemmas and the problems that are going on the planet now, that we're supposed to just, live in a higher reality ourselves so that we can help bring this up, these things, these other worldly situations up, but to just allow them to evolve.
Well, it depends only on you, what is happening to you. Yes, so the outer world is challenging all of us. We are all highly challenged now. So now we have to reveal those highest qualities we can, if we can. That would be great. Yes. That's only for that reason. There is no other reason. And we have to be steady in the truth, steady in our choice. Yes, this forgiving others their mistakes and whatever they mean, yes, to others and so on. Being less, all this system of qualities is so important. But let us look into the asuric qualities, and it will tell us something interesting. We will see where we are sometimes, more often than we want to be. Dambho, darpo, timanascha, krodach, parushyam evacha, ajnanam chabhijatasya, partha sampadam asurim. So sampadam asurim is the wealth of the asuric nature, is dambhach, pride, darpach, arrogance, atimanach, excessive self-esteem. You don't need to say it to others. You could feel it yourself, yeah? That you are superior in some way. You feel that superiority complex within. You don't need to, outside you can play humble because you're superior anyhow. So, krodha, you are the angry one, the anger, harshness, parushyam. You're very harsh with others and with people and with animals and with beings which cannot answer, like plants, or something. You could feel harshness sometimes, strange, coming from elsewhere, from somewhere from below, from outside somewhere. Ajnanam, ignorance. And these are the qualities of asura. He will give more. Now look at this more. Daivi sampadam mokshaya, sampadi mokshaya, nibaddhanaya asurim mata. Mashuchak sampadam daivim abhijato si pandava. This is what he says to Arjuna. The Daivic qualities lead towards liberation. Sampad vimokshaya. And asuric towards bondage. Nibaddhanaya asuri mata. Grieve not, Mashuchach. Thou art born in the Deva nature, O Pandava, O Arjuna. You are Daivic in nature, so nothing to worry. I was thinking about myself, actually quite seriously, whether I am in Daivic or Asuric nature. Let us read, and because it is very subtle, yeah? It is not what you present or what you want to believe or what you want to even present to yourself, about yourself. It is something within which reacts automatically, naturally within you. And then I decided that I am in Daivic nature for myself. I'm just sharing with you, not to promote myself. But every one of you have to decide it for yourself, really. Let us look into the Asuric nature, and then you will see that there could be doubts. Dvau bhuta sargao lokesmin daiva asura evacha daivo vistaratach vistara shach prokta daivo vistara shach prokta asurim parthameshranu. So there are two creations in this world, Daivic and Asuric. Daivach you heard in the kind of in details, vistarashach. And now listen to the Asuric nature. What is Asuric? There will be a long list of Asuric qualities. And these are interesting to dwell on. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jana na viduch asurach. Na shaucham na pi cha charach, acharach, yeah? Na satyam teshu vidyate. Asuric men have no true knowledge of the way of action or the way of abstention. Truth is not in them, nor clean doing, nor faithful observance. Now, let us go through these terms. Pravrittim is beginning of action. Nivrittim is the end of action or absence of action. So the beginning and end of every action, they do not know. People of Asuric nature do not feel when to stop and when to start. This is amazing. I've seen many people in my life, and this is the quality number one. They cannot stop doing things. They just carried by the energy without even meaningful stop. So they will pile up things on the top, again, and more knowledge, more knowledge. What for? You didn't get the first part. You already wanted the third part, the fourth part, the sixth part. Why? What is the reason of piling up all these treasures if there is no change in you, if there is no real reflection upon what you got? So there is no jnana yoga, yeah? That quality of self-knowledge or self-learning. So they do not know the right beginning and the end of any action. Nashaucham, they do not have sense of what is pure and impure. They can mix these two. Yeah. So jokes, some kind of, I had with this problem. That's why I had these thoughts about myself, to which nature I belong, because I could joke very easily about everything. But then I found that Sri Aurobindo is also a joker. So I kind of it was a relief a bit for me that maybe, but his jokes are royal jokes. They're on such high level. Yeah, never low, never this kind of, middle, mediocre jokes. Na acharach, also very important. There is no proper behavior. And clean doing, as he calls. Achara is that from the acharya, to be where you want to follow the doing, because it is like exemplary action. Satyam na teshu vidyate. There is no truth in them. They are not looking for truth. Truth is not an aim for them. It's not the driving force. Truth does not exist. They can create truth. Whatever they consider to be truth, they make it. Yeah, this is Asurik. You can see this nowadays in media, especially on television, where people create truth on, and change it every day. Incredible. This is Asurik nature.
Yeah.
And then more. Asatyam. Apratishtham te jagat ahuh anishvaram aparaspara sambhutam kim anyat kama haitukam. The world is without God, anishvaram, they say, not true, asatyam. The world is just an illusion in which we fulfill our will and desires, not founded in truth. Apratishtham, asatyam jagat, ahuh, they say, anishvaram, without the Lord, without Ishvara, without God. Brought about by a mutual union, aparaspara sambhutam, with desire for its sole cause. Kimanyat kama haitukam. What is else there other than desire for its own aim? Is there anything else in this world? You desire, you get it. Why do you speak about some truth somewhere God knows where, some God you created for yourself to cheat on others? Yes. Why do you do this? Yeah. Just follow your desire. The law of attraction. You remember all these TED Talks? Whatever you desire, you get. This is absolutely Asuric movement. Desire your house, put it on the fridge, imagine what house you want, and it will come to you, this law of attraction. There are so many schools nowadays, psychological movements, who are propagating this kind of philosophy of desire. There is no God, there is no other higher purpose, there is no evolution of consciousness, there's no you growing, there is you and your desire. So go for it. Yeah. Marta, you want to say something? You're kind of leaning towards the screen.
Robert and I were just saying to each other how we see this so much in the world today. These we're supposed to be living in a post-truth society, some people say. Yet truth is so paramount and has an important value.
And power. It
Yes.
has a power. That's
Truly.
why everybody tries to imitate the truth, to
Yeah.
make it work.
Yes, absolutely.
Satyameva jayate. Yes, there is only truth which prevails at the end. Whatever we do, whatever fake truth we can create, it all disappears. It lives only one day. Next day there is another lie, another lie. You cannot sustain that. Truth lives, truth stays. These truths disappear like hotcakes. They generate them constantly and they are just vanishing. You don't even remember. So many lies were there already, so that you don't know what is next. This is the Asuric force, yes, which generates desires. I have today this desire, that's the truth of it. And especially in this period of subjective age, where we are moving towards the deeper inner discovery of ourselves, that layer in between surface and inner is full of desires and forces. And we all kind of, without knowing, we allow them to act.
Excuse me, Vladimir.
Yeah,
Do you hear me?
yeah.
Okay. I want to clarify something about the hostile forces.
Yeah.
Because what I understood about the typal wars is the Asuric are someone entities which they haven't conscience and then can't evolve. They are not in the evolution process because they haven't conscience, because they belongs from the typal wars. Is this true, or there are another Asuric concept?
Daivic are also typal beings. Yeah, all of them are typal beings. This is not about really what it is about us. Are we open to what forces we are open? Yeah? What forces we are working out? Either Daivic, which are also typal forces, or the Asuric, which are typal forces. Whom we allow to enter, whom we allow to settle and act within us, yes, and guide us and drive us and inspire us. So here we are in this dilemma. Yeah, sorry.
And then what we are talking about now is the influence of the hostile forces, isn't it?
Yeah, we are constantly influenced by both forces. What is interesting in this chapter that he speaks about two natures, that the human beings are separated into two natures. Some of them are of divine nature and others are of Asuric nature. And most probably it is something what humanity still has to work out. Yeah, this is how I think about Asuric nature in humanity, because it is not yet finished. You remember we were joking before that many of the beings, many species disappear, all the animals disappear. Where do they all go? They are born in human bodies. Human creatures are increasing in numbers. So they have to work out a lot of nature which was in the past. I'm joking now, but there is some truth in it, some grain of truth, that the evolution goes deeper into the lower layers of evolution, taking with it more and more creatures upward, so to say. And they have to, those souls who become finally aware of themselves, have this very rapid evolutionary process of working out even Asuric nature. I hope I'm not complicating too much, but these are the thoughts which are coming from this thinking, where these people of Asuric nature are coming from. Yeah, why they are adopting that nature and not Daivic. It's so much easier to be Daivic because it's truer, lighter. It is much more energy preserving. In every way, it is better. Healthier than to be Asuric. Asuric is a heavy burden, and that's what he will say in the next shloka. It's a heavy work. So what is your, Siegfried? Sorry, I'm talking more than you. Go ahead.
Yes, I have now. I want to continue my question, but I can give you an answer about why there is
Yeah,
a
give
lot
me,
of
please.
people influenced by the Asuric forces, because we depends of we are depending of the models of the society. And if you watch TV, you watch Netflix, you watch this kind of films, or you watch the news and what the politicians show, the attitude, the 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 lack of honesty, and all of this. I think the models of our society at the moment are Asuric. This is what I think. Many psychopathy leaders in the CEO, in the corporations. I think they
Yeah,
are the models.
I agree. I agree. The models, yes, but I'm also watching Netflix, and somehow it influences me just the opposite way. It tells me, wow, I, I don't want this. I want something better. I can't believe this is happening. I'm always kind of working with myself. So I think somewhere it is within to decide the nature, that inner nature, yes, can be, if you have it totally revealed, or if the psychic would come to the front, as Shubinder somewhere says, then even in hell, it will see only heaven around it. So there is something about inner development which we lack. And because of that, we are easily falling a prey for these forces. They make us victims because we are so weak. It's easy to grab us and to influence us with their own ideas. And their ideas, I totally agree. They are 100, not 100, 95% Asuric. Once in a while, you see some beautiful film with a higher ideal of some from, from Disney or something, but it's very rare, very rare.
Yeah, but what I want to ask about my question is the concept of the Asuric forces are conscious or not? Because I think it's the point. Because if they are not conscious, they can't evolve, isn't it?
They are conscious. They're all conscious forces, but they evolved on a particular level of consciousness, starting from the inconscient, one by one. Yeah? Why the desire, the karma, is the deepest among them drive. That karma broke through all the prohibitions, all the negations of our being. It survived, it pushed forward the whole evolution. It needs a power, very strong dark firepower to really make it work. But it doesn't mean that that power should always stay or dominate our nature once we evolved higher. So this is the contradiction between previous development and further development. And beings which went farther and need more of that higher development, when they are dragged down, they feel very uncomfortable. It's when you are pushed upward, it's much easier than to be dragged down when you don't want. And it's easier to fall down. You have to only relax your effort to move forward, and you fall back into this past, evolutionary past. So we are all of this kind. Somewhere Vivekananda once said, sometimes I am like the divine or something, like the higher consciousness, and once in a while I am worse than the pig or something. So you can think of it that we embody the huge range of possibilities, yes, in this evolutionary scale. Just look at the human beings from this point of view, without judgment. And then you will see something very interesting. There was uncanonized gospel from Eve. There are many gospels which were not canonized by Catholic Church. They just were brushed away. So one of them was the Gospel of Eve. And God comes to Eve and tells her that you think that I created man in vain? This is the dialogue between him and Eve. No, not in vain I created him. Whatever is the most glorious in the glory is no more, is not higher than your glory. He says to her as a man, as a woman. Whatever is the worst, the lowest in the law, that is not lower than your law. Can you imagine? So there is no higher than man can achieve, and there is no lower than the man can fall. This is the range in which we are. So we have to see it and choose the right path. That's it. We can move in every direction. We can go down and fall down. We can go down and transform the inconscient, or we can rise up and bring the higher light to the lowest and start making order there, helping other beings to receive that light also. This is possible. And that's what Sri Aurobindo and Mother did. And that's what they taught us. And so when we look at this Daivic and Asuric nature, we should see also this picture of integral yoga, yeah? On this vast scale of our evolutionary development. Yeah?
And then can we say everyone is in the evolving process?
Right.
All the center beings are in the evolving process?
Yes, in this physical body, yes, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
Without physical body, it's different story. But once we are here in the physical frame, yes, we are constantly evolving, even if we don't want to.
And there are beings which they are not in the they don't have embodiment, and they are not in, they haven't conscience, isn't it?
They have consciousness and they have
Always.
their own. Well, every one of them. The lowest inconscient is also conscious of its involved consciousness. Subconscious has also its own dark consciousness. Everyone has consciousness on a particular level or in particular way. Yeah, consciousness is pervading all.
Okay.
I
Then
can't imagine that somebody doesn't have consciousness.
the only device which they have in conscience are the artificial intelligence, isn't it?
They have their own, yes, way of being, which they want to preserve. And since they are typal being, they don't have any other choice. Yeah. So that is the only choice given to them to keep up with what they are. And once they evolved to this, but for them to change the level, to grow in consciousness, they have to come down to man, and through man to evolve and change.
Okay, I now understand. I get it. They are typal beings which they don't have the possibility to evolve, but they can evolve if they embodiment, isn't it?
Right, absolutely. And that's what Mother and
Okay.
Sri Aurobindo says. They
Okay.
say
Thank
that
you.
even great gods, if they want to change and grow, they have to take a human body.
Yeah, now it's clear. Thank you.
Right. That's why they are attracted to us, because there's something going on there for them also. There's some piece of cake there waiting for them, one way or another. Good and bad forces, both, they can grow and evolve through us. All right, and then etam drishtim avashtabhya. Oh, we saw already. Evam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanach alpa buddhayach prabhavanti yugra karmanach kshayaya jagato hitach. So etam drishtim avashtabhya, following this philosophy, let us say, this vision, nashtatmanach, destroying themselves, their true selves, alpa buddhayach, with weak buddhis, bhavanti, prabhavanti, they become ugra karmanach, creating terrible doings, heavy burden doings, heavy karma doings, let us say, even like this. Kshayaya jagato ahitach, for the destruction of the world, they who are not, who are evil. Here is the translation. Leaning on that way of seeing life and by its falsehood, ruining their souls and their reason, the Asuric man become the center or instrument of a fierce, titanic, violent action, a power of destruction in the world, a fount of injury and evil. Yeah. So once you follow that vision where there is no truth, no God, there is only you and your desire, and this world is a particular Maya in which you can realize what you want, then this would be the outcome. Yeah. Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambhamana madanvitaha mohat grihitvasad grahan pravartante shuchivratah. This is even so, resorting to insatiable desire, kama mashritya dushpuram, very difficult to fulfill, to feel, insatiable desire, arrogant, dambha, full of self-esteem, mana, and drunkenness of their pride, madan vitach. So it's one word, dambha mana madan vitach. Those who are made of dambha, that means this full of self-esteem, mana, so arrogance, self-esteem, and there is another word, not drunkenness, but not madness. We spoke about this word before. Carelessness. Carelessness, yeah. No boundaries. Everything is possible. I don't care. That's what it calls. Mada, being drunk, being totally out of control. These misguided souls delude themselves more hard, grihitva, persist in the false and obstinate aims, grihitva asad grahan pravartante, and pursue the fixed and pure resolution in their longings, ashuchi vratah. This is, and then there is one more and one more for the asuras. Maybe we should read them and then we discuss a little. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashritah kama upabhoga parama kamopabhoga parama etavat iti nishitah. They imagine that desire and enjoyment are all the aim of life, and in their inordinate and insatiable pursuit of it, they are the prey of a devouring, measurelessly unceasing care and thought and endeavor and anxiety till the moment of their death. This is what I was telling, that asuras are working hard. They have a difficult life. You think it's easy to live their life, trying to fulfill their desires all the time in the battle with others? Chintam, chinta can be thought or can be also worry. Aparimeyam, which cannot be measured. Immeasurable worry. Pralayantam, till the end of pralaya, till the end of the world. This worry is there. Upashritach. They found refuge in the worry immeasurable till the end of the world. Kama upabhoga parama, who find only the enjoyment in the realization of desire. Etavat, this is how it is. iti nishchitach. They decided. They decided this is how it should be. And then there is the whole list of more qualities for the asuras. 1, 2, 3, 4 shlokas, all of them about asuras. Which is quite interesting because it is psychological here. It's less qualities, more how they behave. Asha pasha shataich baddhach kama krodha parayanach ihante kama bhogartham anyayenartha sanchayan. Idam adyamaya labdham, idam prapsye manoratham, idam astidam api me bhavishyati punardhanam. Asau maya hatach shatru hanishye chaparan api ishvaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balavan sukhi. Sri Aurobindo translates, bound by hundreds, 100 bonds, bound by 100 bonds, devoured by wrath and lust, unweariedly copied in amassing unjust gains which may serve their enjoyment, their enjoyment and satisfaction of their craving. Always they think, today I have gained this object of desire, tomorrow I shall have the other. Today I have so much wealth, more I will have tomorrow. This broke here, their line. Somewhere disappeared, they didn't put it. Okay, I will continue here. Idam adyamaya labdham, this is today is gained by me. Idam prapsye, this I will get, desire tomorrow. Idam astidam, this is, and this is again. Api me bhavishyati, will belong to me. Punardhanam, again and again, wealth, my wealth. Asau mayahatach, this one is killed by me, Shatruch, the enemy. This enemy is killed by me today. Hanishye, I will kill Chaparan Api, and others I will kill tomorrow. No worry. Today this one, tomorrow others. Ishvaroham, I am the Lord. Aham bhogi, I enjoy the world. Siddhoham, I am realized. Balavan, I am powerful. Sukhi, I am happy. It's not just joke. He is happy. I am full of treasures, Ardhyach. Abhijanan, Janavan asmi. Kon yosti sadrisho maya. Who is here? Who is similar to me? Who is like me? I am here to, I had to say, fulfilled, realized, the riches, the opulent. Yakshye dasyami modishye ityajnana vimohitaha. Yakshye, I will sacrifice. Dasyami, I shall give. Yeah, it's not a joke. He is ready to sacrifice and give. Modishye, I will become happy. I will rejoice. Ityajnana vimohita. Thus they are bewildered by ajnana. So this is all the description of the Asuric nature. So you can see how many funny things are here, very familiar to us as human beings, because we see them every day somewhere in some way or another. And we think, he is really, what do you call it? Ambitious. He is ambitious. He can realize his dreams. We can rely on him. He is good for business. He is good for this. He is good for that. Because he has his ambition. He has his vision of what he wants to be. This is all this. Yeah. Okay, I will stop here, and if you have some thoughts, please share. I'm talking too much. You have to talk more, please.
So, Vladimir, at the end, what is the implication of I will sacrifice and I will give if he's such a selfish person, such a selfish being?
Right. We will read about different types of sacrifices, giving what is in three gunas, yes, sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic. And we will see that even these actions which we consider to be holy are actually captured by these asuric forces. They are giving donations to this, to that, fund of the studies of cancer institute, to this university funds are going, to that they're building, they're promoting knowledge and science and so on. But there is something there which is different, yeah, that kind of aggrandizing oneself through this. Like Elon Musk, yeah, look at this guy, yeah, $200 billion in the pocket. Yes, there's something in spite of being so kind of generous, so-called, and supportive of development. By the way, he stopped his Starlink for Ukrainian forces in Russia. He stopped it suddenly, abruptly.
Stopped it? Oh, no, I thought he was going to continue.
Yeah, and then he decided, paisa is more important.
Oh, good Lord.
Well, yeah, it's up to him. You see, there's something, yeah, it's a nature. Nature is calling. Whom did you call to help you? They will demand from you certain behavior. Amazing. Yeah, the world is amazing. It's a theater, and we are the actors in this theater, yes, as Shakespeare
So
said.
true. It's very true. It's very true, isn't it? And it's unpredictable, yet
Yes, it's
very
amazing.
entertaining if you can laugh like the Dalai Lama and have that that joy of detachment, joy in detachment, I guess.
Right. How is
But-
Dalai Lama doing? I didn't see him for a while. He disappeared
I-
somewhere.
I follow him on Instagram, so he seems to be doing all right. He's certainly aging, but and I think I don't know the status of this, that he may not appoint a replacement because
Yeah,
of
they're
the
waiting for
political
it.
situation.
Yeah, China, who knows what will be there after it, yeah. I believe the Chinese will not attack anyone because they didn't do this for thousands of years. They never attacked anyone. Everybody came with war to China rather than China to someone. Yeah, that's very.
That's
It's
an
not in their
interesting
nature.
question. Yes.
It's like Indians. Yeah, I don't believe that India would attack anyone ever.
Mhm.
These are old civilizations. They value what they have. They can develop what they want. Yeah? They have their own power. Yeah. Some other thoughts? No.
Yes,
Us-
but the Asuric nature is working everywhere, China, India, everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. With us
Yeah.
also. With me, every day I have to face something of this survival, of this, a choice between selfishness and unselfishness. I have to choose. Yeah, it's constantly there, as Jesus says. There is always yes or no, and you have to choose, yeah, between the two. You can't stay without choosing the path. It's a constant choice. And Asuric nature is here. We inherited it. It knocks onto our doors saying, I want my piece of cake. Where am I in all this? Do you think this is fair? And you can just wonder, what is that? Who was that? Can't be me. It's not true. but it is also part of myself somewhere. So it's funny.
I don't think so. I don't think they are part of ourselves. I think it's only interferences in the thought process.
Right.
And
I
if
agree.
you
That's a
jump,
good idea.
the thought mechanics, then doesn't this kind of influence they can attack you. But we have to pay a lot of attention of what we are doing with our thinking capacity. The best is stop it.
According to the Vedic vision, these two kind of armies of light and darkness are meeting within us, yeah? And we have to make a choice. It is ongoing battle anyhow, whether you want it or not, whether you admit it or not, it will be going on. That means if you don't admit that you have darkness, most probably you are on the side of light, or maybe on the side of darkness. I don't know. That's why I don't want to admit. But you have to decide. You have to check and see what is really going on within, truthfully, openly, without. It's not an easy task, truly speaking. I was thinking about myself quite a long time and was doubting until certainty came that can't be that. Yes, there are elements of it. There is selfishness. There is this. There is desire. There is this. There is that. Insecurity, fear, all of those elements of arsenic nature are there. You know, this kind of self-assertiveness or superiority complex, dambha, all these darpa, all these elements are there hiding, and they're subtly suggesting, coming out in thought, in word. Yeah, they are very smoothly found a way through your consciousness because they live long time there from the past. Everybody is using them. Look at this world. Everybody is asserting himself. Look at, I don't want to go to politics because I don't want us to split into these paths. Trump, how he is asserting himself. It's a, you can't believe this is possible. Possible? Possible. And it works. The most funny part, it works. Where are we in all this? Who we are? And what is waiting for us if that is possible? Yeah? So there are many questions about our nature.
Yes, but even when we are influenced from the devas in the opposite stream, I think what we are doing is balancing, and I think is the best is jump the the thoughts. If we can be free about thinking, I think this is the best. This is the freedom, because even when we are thinking so positive or so sadvik, I think what we are doing is only to make a balance of the other forces, but in the end we are in the same
It's a
position.
good beginning to have a balance. It's a good beginning. Then we will have to take the side of the light and start kind of working with the light more. Yeah, but coming through the balance is a not bad way, actually, because otherwise there will be always some fake. You will come to the light and then you will fall into the darkness very fast. Yeah, and you will be not in control of yourself. First thing is to start controlling your energies and to find your position, your witness position, which would allow you to observe what is going on in your field of mental and vital field. And then something would become possible. Yes, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, somebody else? Some other ideas before we close? Jayashree, yeah, yeah. In the center of my picture, I can see you. You are muted. You have to unmute yourself. Click on this microphone. Yeah, this just.
Yeah, I got kicked out of the screen.
Hmm.
No, I was just listening. It's very interesting to hear everybody's thoughts on this very important Asuric and Devic natures, you know. And you're right, both exist in us. We have to make the choice every moment, possibly if we can, but definitely number of times during the day. We have to make that choice.
Yes, and who we are, either Daivik or Asuric, depends of what choices we make most, yes? And that means if we choose the truth in spite of being overloaded with darkness, that means some Daivik nature is predominant in us, even in spite of being overloaded. Yeah? Or if we are overloaded with light and we choose the wrong choices, that means something is wrong with us already. Right. All right. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for today. And I will close with mantra. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santo Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Happy lunar eclipse. Dun, dun, dun. This is our today's topic is very relevant for lunar eclipse, which is coming. So it will be 5 o'clock in the morning. You can come out and see what happens to the moon in the sky.
I can show you the moon here
Oh,
in
you
Spain.
already have it. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's so cloudy. I can't.
Oh.
Yeah, yes, I have already. Sorry, it's so cloudy.
Thank you for trying.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for trying.
Have a
You
good
could
week.
Thank you.
Okay,
Bye.
good night.
Night.
Good night.